Welcome to today's episode, where we delve into a pivotal moment in Japanese politics that could have profound implications, not just for Japan, but for the broader international landscape as well. Japan's Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has called a snap election, set to take place this Sunday. In a move that has surprised many, Takaichi is positioning herself as a hardline conservative leader whose direct approach has resonated with large segments of the Japanese population. This is not just another election. It represents a potential shift in Japan's political and strategic direction at a time when the world is fraught with uncertainty. To understand the weight of this moment, we need to consider the context in which this election is unfolding. Takaichi's rise through the political ranks has been nothing short of meteoric. Her ascent is largely attributed to her outspoken criticism of previous administrations, which many perceived as overly conciliatory and lacking in decisiveness, especially in matters of national security and economic policy. Her brand of politics appeals to those disenchanted with the status quo, a base that spans younger voters, who are often more open to change, and nationalists who prioritize economic revitalization and military strength. Takaichi's call for a snap election comes just days after her appointment, a bold move that underscores her desire to seize the moment and consolidate power. Her agenda is ambitious, focusing on strengthening Japan's defenses against regional threats, particularly from China and North Korea. These are not abstract concerns. They are pressing issues that have dominated headlines and policy discussions, given China's assertive territorial claims and North Korea's continued missile tests. The implications of this election extend beyond Japan's borders. In a world where geopolitical alignments are increasingly fluid, Takaichi's potential victory could signal a strategic pivot for Japan. Historically, Japan has relied heavily on its alliance with the United States for security. However, with the unpredictability of the Trump administration's foreign policies, there is a growing discourse around Japan's need for greater self-reliance. This includes debates around increasing defense spending, potentially revising constitutional constraints on military capabilities, and exploring closer ties with other Indo-Pacific nations that share similar concerns over China's growing influence. Domestically, Takaichi's leadership marks a shift towards more assertive conservatism. This is significant in a country where political decision-making has traditionally been characterized by consensus and gradualism. Her approach challenges the internal dynamics of the long-dominant Liberal Democratic Party and suggests a move towards more decisive governance. Economic pressures, such as the volatility of the global dollar and rising commodity prices, add another layer of complexity. Takaichi has proposed tackling these issues with stimulus measures and a more protectionist trade stance, signaling a departure from previous economic strategies. Should Takaichi succeed in securing a strong mandate, the implications are manifold. We could see Japan pursuing constitutional revisions that pave the way for a more robust military. This could lead to deeper security pacts, similar to the recent Indonesia-Australia treaty model, and potentially bold economic countermeasures against external tariff pressures. While these measures might stabilize Japan's economy in the short term, there's a risk they could also contribute to regional arms races, particularly if they fuel discussions about independent nuclear deterrence among Japan's allies. On the global stage, a Takaichi administration would add to the growing trend of populist leaders gaining traction amid democratic backsliding worldwide. This trend raises questions about how allies perceive the reliability of the U.S. under Trump's leadership and could reshape alliances in significant ways. For the average Japanese citizen, Takaichi's promises offer hope of decisive action on long-standing issues like stagnant wages and security concerns, although there are critics who warn of potential authoritarian tendencies in her governance style. In summary, the outcome of this election could very well mark a turning point for Japan. It presents an opportunity for the nation to transition from a reactive stance in international affairs to one of proactive leadership in a multipolar world marked by nuclear risks and economic unpredictability. As we await the results of Sunday's election, the decisions made by Japanese voters will resonate far beyond their shores, influencing the geopolitical and economic dynamics of the entire region. Thank you for joining me today, and as always, we will continue to follow developments closely, providing you with the detailed analysis you need to understand these complex issues.